Hello, and welcome to Stories from India, a podcast where we talk about myths, legends, and folktales from India. I'm your host, Narad Muni, and I'm a mythological character myself. I have the gift of eternal life and knowledge of the past, the present, and the future. By profession, I'm a traveling musician and a storyteller. So the way I'm doing my job is by podcast. If you're wondering why there's this episode in the middle of the week, it's because I've changed the format of the show a little bit, thanks to some good listener feedback I've received. The characters of the week are now a separate mini episode by themselves. In today's mini episode, we'll meet Shiva's bull, who is also his home security system. We are talking about Nandi. Nandi was born to a rishi, Shilada, as an ordinary boy. The boy was effectively a gift from Shiva. Shilada had no children and prayed to Shiva for this reason. Shiva soon appeared before the rishi and blessed him. As the rishi was going back to his house, he heard crying in a field he was passing by. It was a baby, left all alone. He didn't call child protection services. This was clearly Shiva answering his prayers. He named the baby Nandi. Nandi grew up into a healthy, strong, and religious boy. When he found out his origin story from his dad, he decided that the best course of action was to thank the God who had found the perfect father for him. He left home to pray to Shiva, just as his dad had done many years ago. Shiva heard his prayers and was actually impressed by the boy. So much so that he offered him a job on the spot. The job was to be Shiva's ride and his home security system. But in bull form, not as a human. Now you might wonder why Shiva's home, which is right in the middle of the Himalayas, requires a home security system. But remember, gods and goddesses and demons do not travel as ordinary humans do. Besides, Nandi doesn't just provide local home security. He can be loaned out to other towns, much like how players in some soccer leagues sometimes play for other clubs. We've seen Nandi on exactly such a remote assignment when he battled the plague in the Character of the Week segment of episode 15, Rishi vs. Rishi Civil War. One other story often associated with Nandi has to do with Ganesh's head. Yeah, after the father-son misunderstanding that led to Ganesh's decapitation, Ganesh was given an elephant head. There are many versions of the story, but in one such version, Nandi defeats Indra, the king of the Devs, and brings his elephant Airavat's head as a replacement. At least, that's what some people believe. That's all for this mini episode. If you'd like to check out the story about Ganesh's decapitation, I've linked it in the show notes. In this weekend's full episode, we'll explore the story behind the Rath Yatra in Puri, which is coming up soon. We'll learn why you should keep your curiosity in check, especially if you've got an excellent artist working for you. We'll also learn that it's possible for a drifting log of wood to drift all the way from the Arabian Sea to the Bay of Bengal. That's all for now. If you have comments or suggestions, please leave a comment or a review on the site sfipodcast.com or tweet at SFI Podcast. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. Be sure to subscribe to the show to get notified automatically of new episodes. And thanks to all you listeners for your continued support and your feedback. The music is from purpleplanet.com. That's purple-planet.com. I'll see you this weekend.